what's going on, everybody? It's Hammer. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I, of course, am here live. I am the founder of Originator Success, Grab and Go Social, as well as Rate Sensei. That's right. I know many of you know me just for Originator Success. However, we have increased our product line this year. And so these are actually all different products under the Hammer Solutions umbrella. Anyway, remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're here this morning, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, do me a favor, give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. I think that the video got a little too long. I think our live got a little too long. I don't get a lot of replays anymore. So I think I'm okay with that. I might mess around with that. But anyway, being that many of you don't watch on the replay, if you want to see me live and you want a reminder, I send out a text alert when I'm going live just to give everybody a chance to hop on. You don't want to depend on Facebook or YouTube to let you know that I'm on because, well, they kind of suck. So anyway, you can sign up for a quick text alert, hmmr.io/reminder, hmmr.io/reminder. Or if you're on your phone, use this cool QR code over here. If you are currently watching, you take a screenshot, go back to your photos, and the QR code will still work. Isn't that cool? So anyway, go check that out. This morning, we're going to be talking about, are rates capping out? Is this as good as it's going to get? Let's talk about that. Specifically, we're going to get into what the technicals are telling us. I kind of went into a lot of detail about that yesterday, so we'll just touch on that again today. Not nearly as deep, though. We're going to talk about the CPI and the shutdown. I didn't see if Sean Segaloff is on yet this morning. He kind of brought this to my attention yesterday. Some articles about the CPI inflation data. Remember, that data was supposed to come out on the 15th. We're getting it Friday. So we're going to talk about that data and the fact that it's being collected during the government shutdown and if it's worse than normal. So don't forget, smash that like button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, give a thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, make sure you go ahead and like, maybe tag an originator friend. Also, need you to comment. Your comments help with engagement. They also help keep me engaged. I do this for you, and all I ask is that you do it for me. Make sure that you're commenting. Let me know that you're here and all that good stuff. So let's finally get around and say hi to the live folks. Who do we have here this morning? All of my friends. We got Kyle Mazikas here. Good morning. Mike Tebow, great to have you here. Mike Brown, carrying on the mics. Mallory Fotiadis, good morning. Holly Johnson and Jerry Avila. Yasmin Martin, hello. Whoop, whoop. Tiffany Teal, good morning. Allison Foy, Michael Love, great to have you here. Randy Tico, giddy up, sir. Tim Klyla, haven't seen you on in a couple of days. Good to see you again. Nicole Samurai, good morning. Chris Dickerson, good to see you, sir. Ron Siegel said, today we celebrate National Tavern Style Pizza Day. Never met a pizza I didn't like. What exactly is a tavern style pizza? Somebody Google that for me. Let me know, what is a tavern style pizza? And I'm curious. Angela Walters, good morning. Avila, on your flight to Fuse. Well, travel safe, my friend, and enjoy. I will not be at Fuse. I will be glamping with my wife and some friends in Chattanooga, Tennessee tomorrow. So I have never gone to Fuse, actually. I always seem to be celebrating something around that time. My anniversary is October 19th, so I tend to do something with my wife right around this time of the year. So y'all have fun without me. Let me know how great it is. Good morning, Deb Dickinson, Brandy Brickler. Wow, you've been an Originator Success member long enough to get 200 5-star reviews. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. And thank you for that as well. Appreciate it. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I love that. Hold on a minute. I got to get the... Why is it not? All right, here we go. Thank you. I was just taking a screenshot, y'all. This is called social proof. So you definitely want to do that. I will enjoy glamping, my friend. I will. So tavern style is thin crust. All right. So that's the question of the day then. How do you like your pizza? How do you like your pizza? Pizza. I got to type this on. Pizza. Thin crust, thick crust, loaded crust, Sicilian. How do you like your pizza? I know I spelled Sicilian wrong, but I don't know how to spell Sicilian. So here you go. So that is the question of the day. How do you like your pizza? Tavern style, which I didn't know was a thing. You like thick crust, thin crust? I put think crust. Let me fix that. Thin crust. How do you spell Sicilian? Sicilian. There you go. I'll do it like that. There we are. So, all right. Let me know. Carmen said, I thought I was a Jersey guy, Sicilian all day. Dude, it's funny because down here in Western North Carolina, there's no such thing. Like nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say that. Also, Carmen, how do you pronounce margarita pizza? I pronounced it marguerite up top, like mozzarella, marguerite pizza. Down here, it's margarita pizza. I'm like, a margarita is a drink, not a pizza. So anyway, y'all let me know in the comments on all that, and I'm going to get to this other stuff. So bear with me as I pull it all up, and we will go ahead and let's jump in and get started. So I'll bring up the screen. Here you go. We'll start off with the technicals. Right now, mortgage-backed securities currently up 2 basis points on the. What happened to Presentify? Where is my Presentify? There. Okay, so right now, mortgage-backed securities currently up 2 basis points on the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. I have the hiccups. You can hear that, of course, but let me get rid of this. Taking a look yesterday, this is flat as a pancake. I mean, there's like no moves here at all. This is just flat, right? So yesterday, really nothing happened. Mortgage bonds were unable to break through that technical resistance level. Remember, I'll draw that for you right here. Okay, so this is yesterday right here. The candlestick was coming up and testing it, but unable to break above this technical resistance level. Now, remember, I talked about this at length yesterday. So if you need to, just go back through the archives there and you'll be able to see what we talked about there. But basically, we're looking to see, can mortgage-backed securities, let me just draw this again. There you go. Okay. Can mortgage-backed securities work their way above this line like that? If we were to see this an improvement, that means that we're going to see better rate sheets. But even though they did not break through yesterday, they were still flat on the day, holding steady. The 10-year Treasury yield still 3.96, still below that 4% mark. So that's all good. What that means today is that rate sheet should be about the same as yesterday. Now, the question is, could rates be capping out? Using Mortgage News Daily as a reference point, let me pull this over so you guys get the whole screen. Bear with me. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Okay, so taking a look at Mortgage News Daily, using that as the reference point here, 6.13 was that lowest level that we saw right here, right before the Fed meeting a month ago, 6.13. We are showing 6.17, so not quite the lowest rates. Again, this is Mortgage News Daily. He basically just kind of uses a consistent pattern of some of the rate sheets that he must have access to, and to get that. Curious though, when we look at loans that were locked, when we use Optimal Blue and we turn off some of these. Back then it was 6.17, and right now it's 6.15 and 6.14. So the difference is, remember, when we look at Optimal Blue, this is what they say locks are at, but it doesn't tell us if there's any rebate pricing points. So we're actually locking loans at better levels according to what Optimal Blue is sharing with everybody compared to where we were right there. So the thing is, we need to see what's going to happen here. If mortgage bonds break above and continue to move higher here, then that means that we're going to see rate sheets continue to improve. If we don't, if we start to fall back down this way and we end up kind of in that range, then rate sheets are basically, this is likely the best rates that we're going to see for a while. Same thing, watch that 10-year Treasury yield. We want to keep an eye on that. Now, reprice risk on the day is low. Right now, we are up about 3 basis points. There's a 20-year Treasury auction this afternoon. That's it. Even if we didn't have the government shutdown, there wouldn't have been any data today. So there's not much to worry about. But rates are definitely at a crossroads. And the next week or so is going to tell us a lot. All right. Now, if you would like to get, why is it reconnecting? It says my connection is lost. Reconnecting. Are y'all there? Hello? This thing on? Hello? 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 Don't tell me I'm having problems. No. Hello? Reconnecting. Is it having problems or not? Hello? Hello? I'm going to refresh the... okay. No, it says reconnecting, but you guys are all saying all good. So anyway, I'm going to keep going then. Thank you for that. Thank you. So as I show you guys all the different things in my email, as I leave this thing up there, what I wanted to show you is today's, where's today's lock advice? Why did that not go out? Why do I not see that yet? Huh. Oh, you know what? I probably have it sorted. Let me find it here. Yeah, here it is. That's why. All right. Come on. Let me move this over. Sometimes I love technology. There we go. So I think I really kind of nailed this one. Why is it not? Seriously? Okay. So I think I really kind of nailed it today. Let me know if you guys, and by the way, let me put this on the screen. If you're not signed up for the email, first of all, if you're signed up and you're not getting it, it comes from hammer@ratesensei.com. So make sure that you are looking at that. It used to come from Hammer at Originator Success. It now comes from hammer@ratesensei.com. If you're not signed up for this email, sign up at ratelockadvice.com. But basically, when I went over everything on this, as we see, I break it down into, for the next 15 days. So in the next 2 weeks, we got a lot going on over the next 2 weeks. Remember, we're going to see the CPI inflation data on Friday. So we're going to circle around and talk about that in a minute. But we got the CPI inflation data coming out on Friday. Next week, about a week from today, we're going to have the Fed meeting, and markets are already pricing in, 100% expectation that we're going to see a Fed rate cut. That is already, I wanted to move it, not, I like to move it. Don't laugh. Here we go. There you are. All right. So remember here right now, markets pricing in 100% expectation that we're going to have a Fed rate cut, and that we're also going to see one in December. That is also highly expected here. The question is, what's going to happen in January? And right now, markets are betting on the idea that we're going to see another cut. This would be in January. This would basically be, we've already had one cut. They're expecting two more. This would be a fourth cut that would happen since September. So that's what markets are currently pricing in, and we've got that coming up as well. So there's a lot going on with all that we could see some movement, is kind of the takeaway here and what we want to remember. Let me see if I can pop this out. So, where's that thing? There we go. Okay. That's better. Okay. So anyway, taking a look here. That's where we're at. We're going to get CPI inflation data on Friday. Let's talk about that for a minute. So the CPI inflation data, there is a lot of talk that the information could be even more wrong than normal. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. So this week's critical inflation report comes with a variety of doubts about the data. The September Consumer Price Index report coming out Friday will command full attention from financial markets. Now, remember, that should have come out on October 15th. It's coming out on the 24th, even though we're on the government shutdown, because it is a critical report and it's needed to set the cost of living adjustments for Social Security in 2026. With the Bureau of Labor Statistics already under scrutiny this year for its broad menu of data releases, the government shutdown gripping Washington, D.C. will only raise concerns from parts of Wall Street about whether the inflation reading will present a full picture. Skeptics like me are going to be focused on how clean is this data, said Vishal Kanduja, head of broad markets fixed income at Morgan Stanley Investment Management. What were the accommodations made for the lack of full personal staff showing up? Remember, the BLS doesn't have all of its workers. What adjustments were made before the data got reported? Indeed, the BLS has faced a host of questions over its data collection methods. We've already, gone through all this. So even with questions over the data, economists aren't looking for anything dramatic from the actual numbers. The consensus has the CPI report showing a 3.1% annual inflation level on both headline and core, which would be economists see the monthly headline number rising 0.4 and 0.3 for core. All right, that's what they're expecting to see on Friday. So if we were to come in tremendously lower, I don't know that markets would necessarily believe it. They might turn around and say, well, we think that the data isn't right and we might not get the full benefit from it. So it's very kind of curious to see. Plus, will we see more of an emphasis on this report since it is the only real report that we're getting? We've got no jobs data. We've got no unemployment claims. We've got no the BLS jobs report with non-farm payroll and wages and all of that. None of that's come out, right? So the question is, will this be even more of a thing? Now, we do have some data this week. We're going to get on Friday. Not only do we get this, but we're also going to get the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. So that'll give us a little bit, but that's really the only data we've seen for quite a while. Randy said reports never seem to be exempt from future revisions. No, and they're not supposed to be because they continue to collect data on it and improve the data. So that's kind of there where we're at. So all right. Well, anyway, y'all, it looks like we are back to the full spectrum here. I think we hit on everything today. So I'm going to wrap it up. Let me turn off the screen sharing. ADP is not a government report. ADP is private payroll. So that is from a private company. It's not part of the shutdown. So we did get the ADP data last time. Remember, it came in negative, which showed a softening labor market, and it's expected we would see that again, but that won't be for another couple of weeks. So, but yeah, we'll get that one. Ron said a low CPI number would help Trump, but hurt our seniors who count on SSI. Yeah, that is definitely the case. And that was also shared by Sean Segaloff, said the same thing to me in Messenger about, that it would hurt the seniors. Because remember that which it's kind of weird that they don't do an average, but this one, moment in time, this one flashpoint, this one picture in time is what's going to set the rates for next year for them. So we will see how it goes. But all right, my friends, well, let's see what y'all had to say about pizza. What was your favorite kind of pizza? If you didn't answer yet, go ahead and answer. I'm going to go back through the chat. Let's take a look and see. We were talking about Ron Siegel. He said Chicago deep dish. Randy Teagle said extreme thin crust. Holly Johnson, thin and crispy, wood fire. Oh yeah, absolutely. Wood fire is awesome. Ron Siegel said nobody knows what you're talking about when I talk about Sicilian pizza in Southern California either. Mortgage Dog said brick oven pizza. You love those dough bubbles. Sicilian with Italian sausage. Yeah. So if you didn't put your info on there, if you didn't put yours, let me know. But otherwise, I'm gonna wrap it up, y'all. I'm going to restart the computer. I think I'm having a little bit of internet issue. But don't worry about it. I'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic day, and I hope you have a wonderful one. Bye-bye.